Hi there and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. Well, today I thought we'd have another one of my looks at some of these older Matchbox kits, which people seem to quite like because obviously it brings back a lot of memories for folks of a certain age like me. And it brings back memories of the childhood and the good old days, you know, when you could actually have a bit of fun making models, and perhaps it wasn't so serious as it is today. But anyway, so today we're going to talk about the B25 Mitchell. I've got a couple of examples. I've got one here which I'm going to not open. That's the original boxing from 1975. So this is this red range from 75, where these are the sort of perhaps the biggest pocket money, shall we say, ones you could just about scrape to afford if you saved up for a couple of weeks, you know. And it's the sort of tier 3 from the bottom of the range. So I've talked about this before, but you can clearly see there's a difference in the artwork. Same artwork, but they've just on this one they've teased out some of the detail that's here in the background from the beautiful Roy Huxley painting, which I don't personally like. I love the painting. I don't like it when they did this thing with all white. It loses some of its character really, but still nice. Still nice. So anyway, without further ado, let's have a look in the box. First though, what do you get? Let's have a quick nosy, because Matchbox's boxes themselves are a bit of a work of art, if I'm being honest. And of course, this is the range that had 3 colours. So in this case, we've got some sort of a green, a kind of a brown, and a black. So if you were, you know, a youngster at the time, you didn't have to paint the actual model if you didn't want to. Some artwork at the back, and it's notable that is very different actually from the original, which I'll just show you. That's the original at the top, and that's the new style artwork at the bottom. Still prefer the original one, which just shows the, you know, the painting in its full glory really. On the side, this is quite good because it gives you a little bit of detail showing some of the nose art, and the fact you've got this optional front. One's the B25H, which has got the M4 75mm cannon, or more the traditional glazed bomber style, which was the 25J. And there's lots of variants of the Mitchell, and some of you may recall that obviously this was the aircraft that was featured in the book and the subsequent films and TV series Catch-22 about the bomber pilots in Italy and their high mortality rate, and all about the guy who tries to get out of, you know, he tries to hit his target of so many raids and then he goes home, but they keep moving the goalposts. Anyway, that's another story for another day perhaps. So let's have a look at this, a proper look inside. What have we got? End out of the box. A little bit careful. This is still quite old. This actual version that I have in my hand, as opposed to the other one, I think it's actually dated later. I'm pretty sure it's an 83 or thereabouts. But yes, it says 1983 just here. The other one says 75 on it. So this is this later Loctite box. On the back, again, worth pointing out the two differences. This one has no window. This has the original window style, of course, in the 75 box. We have the colour callouts and marking options clearly displayed at the back as well. And as you can see, we've got the 1st Air Command Group, 10th Air Force at Halakandi, India and Burma, 1944. Then we've got the Free French Lorraine Squadron, doesn't say where they're located, although I'm pretty sure it's probably 1944, so it's probably in southern England. And then we've got the 180 Squadron RAF, which was at Maelsbroek in Belgium, November 44, just in time for the Battle of the Bulge. Little did they know it, but anyway. So we've got an RAF version, we've got a Free French version, and a US AF version too, which is great to have all those options. Now, what have we got? Let's start with the instructions. Now, I've got a nasty feeling that this is literally a photocopy, which is the way it came to me. So we'll have a look at that, because in terms of the content it won't be any different, I'm sure. So it's an actual photocopy that's been produced. Not sure what's happened to the original instructions here, but there we go. Nice and clear anyway. And we've got, starting with the small parts, call-outs. So all your little pieces like your pilot and your seats and engines and propellers and guns and things, undercarriages, all shown clearly there with what is the relevant correct colours, including your cannons here. Then you've got the main colour guide, mainly aimed to at the Humbrol range, of course, which was all the rage then. And then we've got the actual instructions. So, as I've got several options on this, I should have perhaps pulled out another copy of the original instructions, but it doesn't matter, it still shows you the detail. So we start off with the cockpit with the two pilot and the co-pilot, and then we've got the mid, or just behind the canopy, gunner for the upper gunner. Then you bring in your fuselage together here, and you've got your rear gunner going into place as well there. And then a slight repeat with the way it's been photocopied. Then you've got this option of how you want to have your nose. Do you want to have the glass nose for bombing with a gun just mounted, single gun mounted in I think it's 50 cal in the nose, or do you want to have the cannons? So this is more sort of like the Mosquito style, Brownings at the front, big cannons at the side on the H version. So that's quite a lot of options. Then you've got your tailplanes going on there, and the cover for the rear gunner. His guns have of course just gone in. I missed that, didn't I, actually? Talking about guns, yeah, the rear guns for the rear gunner's machine guns going in there. Then he gets his cover, and he sits in this very unusual position in this aircraft, kind of within the body of the tailplane, the centre of the tailplane, which is maybe quite good. It's probably quite good protection there, because he's got the two tailplanes either side actually protecting him from sideways shots, so it's probably a bit safer than a B-17 anyway. Undercarriage goes on, gets put in the nacelles for the actual engines. Then you build your engines up, and then you bring all these things together and you plug your wings into the actual main fuselage body. And the engine nacelles go on there, as you can see, and the actual engines and the props at the front go in to complete that assembly. Just finishes off with all the little aerials and lights and pitot heads and things, and the main cannon, big cannon that goes. That's the M4 cannon, isn't it? M4 cannon under the nose. Very similar, isn't it, in concept to the Mosquito, actually. I have to say, a bit like the Tetsi flying Mosquito, the idea of it. Quite like the idea of that. I think I'd make the H rather than the glass fronted one, a bit more interesting. And that's it for the instructions. We've got some decals here, fairly rudimentary, little bit yellowed, but not bad. They still look fairly sound to me. I think they'll be absolutely fine. And we got a nice, rather daring lady, Sweet Sue, riding the bomb there. Very like Dr. Strangelove, isn't it? Very reminiscent of that. Not recommended. Okay, so put that in its original paper. Now, start with the clear parts, I think. So, as we mentioned, you've got this option of the two different styles of cockpit canopy. This one being the H, this one's the J. And you've got your front piece here. This is your gun at the front, and then you've got your top ball turret clear dome there, and this little tiny one here is the rear gunner that sits sort of in this bubble on top of the tailplane. And then you've got a couple of guns out the side, a very heavily armed aircraft. So let me see, it's got one, two, three, four. It's got 8 Browning machine guns, an M4 cannon, plus 2 Brownings on the top turret, 2 more Brownings in the centre, which is where the windows are for here, popping out of there, in the middle of the fuselage, either side like a B17, and then one at the back. So very heavily armoured, especially if you go for the H version. A porcupine, really. Now then, let's get on to the main sprues. There we go. Move that because I think some focus problems now. So, all in green, very jungly looking, isn't it? It's quite a loud colour. Main wing, and of course Mitchell's got this strange sort of anhedral dihedral style. So it goes anhedral on the inboard section between the fuselage and the engines, and then more of a traditional sort of straight wing further out, which makes it quite distinctive to look at, like a bird almost. And we've got, again, it's typical Matchbox. It's coloured, but it's beautifully moulded. You know, it's not fine and sharp like a modern kit, but there's no flash, no problems you can see there. It's all going to go together properly, and I can assure you it will, because I built it. I think I built one of these when I was younger, long time ago. Then we have got all the little parts on the black sprue. So here we've got propellers, we've got all the undercarriage, main gear, internals, the cannons that go down the side, engines, and the bulkheads, and various parts of the gear legs, etc. for the undercarriage there. And then last but not least, one of the biggest sprues of all is the main fuselage and top of the wings. So it's the top part of the wing. You can see this strange anhedral dihedral thing. In fact, I'm just trying to see. It's actually confusing whether it's the top or the bottom. That is. They go in, down, don't they? Yeah, it goes like that. So this is the top. Yeah, just very strange. It looks like a banana, but don't worry, it's not a Meng kit. It's all bent. You see my other videos, you'll know what I'm talking about there. There's your main fuselage side. Here's where the gunners sit, one of the gunners, one on either side, operating machine gun. So as I said, very, very heavily armed. And then here's this on the H option. We've got this big bulbous nose that houses 4 machine guns, 4 Brownings, and a great big cannon. And there's the opening for the cannon barrel to come out of. And here's this rather interesting tail section. This is where the tail gunner sits, as his window here, right in the middle. And then you've got your cowlings and your engines, and a little bit of a cover, bubble cowling underneath the chin. So all in all, again, flash free, typical Matchbox, very, very easy to build. Not going to be any huge gaps, they always go together well. A really nice model actually, really nice model, and because I like this style of having the optional different fronts on, different types of nose, that's why I went for 1 or 2 of these. I've got a little collection of them, but they're really nice, you know, you just can't fault the artwork. I think when you see this full version, it's really, really worth having a closer look. It's so nice. It's just, you know, this is how we did things in 1975. There was a little bit of effort was put in then. Not a CGI image that somebody's just cooked up in an hour or so. That's been painted. That's probably taken weeks to paint that. By Roy Huxley. You can even see he's got the shell cases are spewing out from under the cannons here, which is absolutely brilliant. Fabulous. And of course, in this Mark 1 version that we've talked about, it also has the adverts on for the other products, so it's urging you to also consider a Phantom or the Heinkel 115 seaplane. So, you know, quite a nice offering. That's putting it mildly. 3-colour kit, everything you need. Apart from, all you need is some glue. Again, knife, some glue, tool to take it off the sprue, and we're done. Anyway, I can recommend that kit to you. I say it's nice and easy to build. You don't have any problems. Great fun. The only problem today is getting your hands on one. You can still get them though. You'll pay about £30 to get one of these. The problem that you have is like me, you think, do I need to build this, or should I just get a modern Airfix and build that? Because they're collector's items, you know, and it's a bit of a shame to make them and then just end up with a box, you know, which is a piece of art in itself. But maybe they're a bit too special now to actually build when they're so old. But anyway, that's for you to decide. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Nice brief one again. Just thought I'd give you an insight into that one. There'll be more coming along soon, I'm sure. So in the meantime, thanks for joining me. Take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.